Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. On this channel, we discuss day-to-day problems people face in their lives. Let's start with the video. My ex-girlfriend passed. Her family barely contacts me that she had a baby. There's no doubt her son is 100% mine because we had a paternity test just to be sure. Anyways, I'm 27 male. Barely found out this weeks ago. Only reason we broke up is because I had to move back across the country last year to help my family after my dad died from COVID. Didn't want to go the long distance because I was going to stay there working for a bit. She never told me anything. Her mom says she didn't want me to worry about her all the way over there when my dad's family needed me more, and she was going to tell me as soon as I was back. I moved back like a month ago, only now I'm finding out not only that I lost her, they said there were complications when she gave birth, but we have a baby boy. Feeling a mix of stuff, and the worst part is I can't talk to her about it because I wish she'd told me. Her mother says they've barely been managing with him, they need help with him, and so that's why she reached out to me once they learned I was back. Of course he's mine, that's my responsibility. Still, it's hard not to panic. I'm still in shock about her death. Now, I've got a son that I need to take care of. Didn't even get to be a part of the first 2 months of his life. My family doesn't know about him yet. Hell, I still haven't met him yet. Her mom's only sent me pics. He's beautiful. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I'm scared, sad, and mad for some reason. I'm nervous as hell about meeting him or how this is gonna go. Her parents will be around to help, but I know he'll be with me full time for the most part. Really, any advice I'll really appreciate. From new parents or anyone honestly, what the hell do I do about all these new changes? 51 here, married, 2 small kids and all that. First, my sincere condolences for the loss of your ex-girlfriend. Second, if you're feeling blown away by this unexpected, shocking set of developments, this is perfectly normal and healthy. You will process it eventually. It takes time. Definitely look for some counseling at some point to help you process. Maybe even a single parent support group. It usually takes 10 to 14 days to adapt to a new environment. Maybe a little bit longer so it won't be instant. Third, babies aren't rocket science. They're a lot of work, but you don't need to be a genius to figure them out. Feed, bathe, clothe, change, hold, and most of all, love them at all times. You will learn what kind of cry means feed me versus hold me versus change me. Honestly, 90% of fatherhood is just showing up and being there. You will form a profound loving bond with your son if you spend time with him. Don't worry if you aren't instantly loving him. It actually takes a little time to get there for many people, but you will. In my case, my bond with both my sons was quickly developed. I fully participated in all parts of their care. Both of them frequently slept tucked under my arm during naps and at night sometimes. My 2-year-old was adopted as a newborn and we bonded right away. Lastly, time to mobilize yourself for action. I don't know what your situation is, but there is going to be an awful lot of paperwork for insurance, healthcare, daycare, custody, and stuff like that. Let your family know as soon as possible because families usually help each other out, usually. You need to get your personal life together as best as you can if you haven't already. I know this was an extraordinary shock, but you can get through it successfully. It will just take some work. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Great advice, and I would add that newborns can cry a lot for many different reasons and is 100% perfectly acceptable to put them safely in their crib and let them cry for a few minutes while you collect your thoughts and emotions. With as much as original poster has going on, I could see a crying baby being very overwhelming. Hi, I'm so sorry about your loss. It must be tough to hear she passed and at the same time to find out you have a son. You mentioned a paternity test. How recent was this test if you haven't spoken to her or seen her in the last year? And how did her parents manage to reach out to you? I think the first step is seeking a support system. It's a lot to process with death and family, your former partner, and learning about the birth of your child. Do you have any close friends or family? What about reaching out to friends to see how she was doing during her pregnancy? Might be good to speak to her family more, just so you have a sense of how she was before passing. And as a last resort, if you're able to, seek professional help to assist in managing all your conflicting feelings. I hope you're not thinking of regret or any what ifs. Life is ugly and beautiful at the same time. The best thing is to make sure you're there for your child and be the best person you can be for him. Keep us posted on updates. Are you listed on the birth certificate? If you aren't, then not only do you have no responsibilities, you have no rights either. It could be very dangerous for you to take over the care of this child if you're not listed as a parent. Anyway, it sounds like a mess, but you can do it. Lots of single moms in the world do it all the time. I don't know where you're located, but there are all kinds of resources for new parents, single parents, etc. One of the best places to start is at a pediatrician's. Update: my ex-girlfriend passed. Her family barely contacts me that she had a baby. All the info and advice you guys gave in my original post meant a lot to me, so thank you for that. Some of you wanted an update. What can I say? It's been chaotic. Finally met my son, and that was just a truckload of emotions hitting me all at once. Wasn't expecting it. My ex's mom had to take him for a minute because I was literally sobbing. It wasn't because I didn't want to be a dad or anything. It's one of those moments where everything hits you at once and the only thing you can do is cry. She understood it though, and she even cried with me. She's a sweet lady, one of those ladies that treats everyone like her child because of how caring she is. My son has my ex's nose and the shape of her eyes. That's what hit me the most. Just because we broke up for the meantime while I was at my dad's didn't mean I stopped being in love with her. And now we have a baby together, only she won't get to be here to share that family experience, and I miss her so much. Got to hold my son, introduce myself to him. Me and her mom talked about the custody stuff, already got a lawyer for that to make the process easier, so everyone's on the same page. They let me stay over, talked more about my ex, had a few beers with her dad. I stayed at their house for a few days because honestly, I was still terrified of being left alone with my son, because I had no clue what the hell to do with him. They were both really kind and patient about showing me how to change his diapers, feedings, how to give him a bath, rock him to sleep, how to install the damn freaking car seat in my car without throwing it on the floor. Her parents were nice enough to let me spend the night, so every time he woke up, I'd be there either to watch her, how she does everything, then I started doing it. He's been with me almost 2 weeks at my place. Got mostly all his stuff with me. Looking for a 2-bedroom, but for now he's sleeping in his bassinet in my room. It's been really hard, especially the first night. I probably called her mom like 5 times within 2 hours because he would not stop crying. Then his pediatrician because I'm freaking out something might be wrong with him. Calming him down whenever he got fussy was my weak spot. Nothing I tried was working. Singing to him seemed to help a lot, walking around my apartment and rocking him nonstop. It's still not easy. At least now I'm feeling more confident that I can't handle the crying and not freak out enough to call for help. Taking time off from work again so I can be there with him full time. I'm tired, stressed, and still have a lot going on emotionally, but I'm also just so happy when I'm holding him or making him smile. Honestly, the little stuff he does, even his cute little sneezes, makes me love him even more. Seems like he's starting to like me too. Almost everyone in my family has met him on Zoom. My mom came over to see him. She's offering to do babysitting once I go back to work in another few months, so that's one less thing to worry about. I just wish my dad would have had the chance to meet him. I know they would have been best friends, and he definitely spoiled my son so much. And it's like my ex knew that too. So I didn't know this until her parents gave me his birth certificate, but my ex wanted his middle name to be my dad's. So that was a nice surprise for me. That he got his grandpa's name too. I'm slowly adjusting to this new life. Not easy, he makes it worth it. I want to be his dad and give him the best I can the way my dad did with me. Man, I teared up reading this. I remember the original. Please know that no parent knows what they're doing, and you're doing great. I hope you can maintain a great relationship with your ex's family, not just for you, but for your son too. Also consider some therapy for yourself. This post is so bittersweet. Best of luck, original poster. They're really wonderful people. I'm happy my son will have his mom's side in his life and share all her memories with him. I'm in tears, so proud of you and so moved by your story. Your in-laws sound wonderful, as does your mom. I'm so sorry for the loss of your ex and of your dad. She sounds like she was a wonderful woman who fully believed you would all be a family together. She clearly believed in you. I truly hope that when you get to a point where you can find love again, your future partner understands that your son's mom will always be a part of your family, and the same for her parents. Good luck and enjoy the journey. He'll be grown up before you know it, so savor every moment. She was the best, always made me laugh, super caring and supportive. I can only imagine what an amazing mom she would have been to our son. Think a part of me is always gonna love her no matter what. Right now, everything is still fresh. Thank you. I'm really glad to have all this time with him so we can really bond. I haven't smiled so much than when we're playing together or just being silly. Small piece of baby advice. He feels your stress and anxiety. When he's fussy and you get panicked, he can feel that and it will only make him more upset. One thing that helped me with my daughter when she was a baby was to talk to her. Example, she would be wailing, nothing was working. I would start saying, I know you're upset, I'm upset, we're both upset, but we both have each other. I know she couldn't understand me, but in some ways this mantra helped me calm down, and then in turn so would she. Next story. My girlfriend doesn't seem to have any plans to get a job or work. My girlfriend, 33, and I, 30, have been dating for 4 years. I love her more than anything, but a combination of her laziness and her anxiety is really preventing us from moving forward financially and emotionally. She's currently living with her parents, and I have absolutely no problem with living with that as I still live with my mom. Financially, it works out better. My problem is that her parents pay for everything: food, power, her phone, everything. She has no financial independence and never has. She has only ever had 2 jobs. The first was 2 days a week, 3 hours a day. She was really good about going, worked there for years and never missed a day. Then COVID hit and she was laid off. The second job, she lasted 5 days before deciding working at a retail store wasn't for her and she quit. Since then, she has worked on her degree but has done nothing else. She graduated and hasn't done any job hunting and seems to have no intentions of getting a job. She's always talked about starting a coffee shop but has done zero research or planning on the topic. She's never had a license and is too afraid to drive. She had her permit when we started dating and I would let her drive my car to get practice, but she'd only ever go a mile or 2 before she'd start crying and say she can't go on. I've tried suggesting she gets help from a therapist, but she doesn't have insurance because she doesn't have a job. So I would have to drive us everywhere, which she expects me to do after I get off an 11-hour shift at work. I'm in love with this woman, but I'm struggling with the fact that she has no ambition and doesn't seem to plan ahead in life. She seems content to sit around and play video games. Her parents aren't always going to be around, and I don't want to be taking care of her and the family she says she wants to start with me. Currently, we can't even afford to get a place together because I don't make nearly enough. I'm not sure what to do anymore. How do I even approach this topic? I know a lot of this is because of her anxiety, but she can't afford to get the help she needs, and I don't have the money to send her to anyone either. I'm not sure if this relationship can go on like this for much longer. I just need help figuring it all out. Just ask yourself if you can make this relationship work on your own if this doesn't change, and then take the call. No one's saying it can't or never will, but there are many reasons women don't want to work post-marriage or motherhood. Are you prepared to be the breadwinner and the dynamic of codependency that comes with it? Will you be able to be fair in the way you see her without throwing this in her face, not when it's fair to but unfair? She lacks ambition, which will make your life easier in many ways. Mutual expectations will be grounded and unrealistic ones will be squashed by circumstances. You will be spared from dealing with many consequences that come with living with an extremely independent woman. Then comes the flip side of all this, which you're already seeing. You will also be her crutch and in turn may grow to view her as an anchor. She will be more content with you, but will you be content with her? The real issue, though, is whether you'll be able to live with the fact that you're losing respect for her and may one day find all of it gone, replaced instead by resentment. As for my advice to you, she seems better suited to a profile that starts off as an interest and can then evolve into a business idea or proprietorship. One that begins with flexibility of time and effort only to then evolve into something amazing like she will. This will also sort out the transitional place she will benefit from, since the ideal of planting her into a hectic work shift pattern seems daunting on her. This could be anything she takes interest in. Lastly, and I need you to take this seriously, ask her how she's feeling about being a YouTuber. She loves gaming, and that is the most successful channel genre on YouTube. She can easily make a channel that she's the face of or maintain anonymity too. You can then decide how much you're comfortable sharing on YouTube. She loves gaming, so this won't feel like work, but will give her more incentive for the grind than anything else. Over time, she will also grow out of her shell when she sees a satisfying income from something she loves. Honestly, as someone who is currently in her shoes, try and figure out why she doesn't have a license or a way of earning money. Is she lazy, depressed? Does she have social anxiety? It's not normal for an adult to not want to work or have transportation. It's going to be a burden after the honeymoon phase wears off. What will she be able to bring to the table? Does she expect you to drive her everywhere? How does she get anything she wants for herself already? I read she has anxiety. This is something she really needs to see a therapist about, if it's getting in the way of working. If she gets a license, maybe she can rent a car to drive Postmates or Uber with to make some money. Those jobs help immensely with social anxiety, and it's on her schedule. What do you two have in common? What is it about her that makes you think she's the right person to date? There needs to be compromises and effort from both parties for a relationship to work. It's not just gonna be okay. Relationships take effort and maintenance. Try to get your girlfriend to agree to go to therapy and help her figure out what is blocking her from growing.